Welcome to the last part of this interview series with Yaroslav Moskov. Here you can find out about sewage sludge management through pyrolysis and how this process can destroy PFAS. Can you give us maybe a short introduction to biochar and pyrolysis?
Yes, pyrolysis is the process of heating the material in the absence of free oxygen. So it is on the other spectrum of thermochemical processes than the incineration. During the incineration, you need excess of oxygen to burn. In case of pyrolysis, you do not add the oxygen, so you basically just heat up the material with no oxygen, no free oxygen environment. So this might be something similar to distillation of the solid materials.
For sewage sludge management, you have different options. The main ones nowadays are the spreading of sewage sludge into fields for food production, for example, which is quite dangerous, as you explained previously, for the pollutants. Then you have incineration and pyrolysis, as you mentioned. But what about the carbon contained in sewage sludge? So what happens during incineration and what happens during pyrolysis?
Okay, we can have a look on this from two perspectives. Let's go with the carbon at first. So during the process of incineration, you combust all the carbon which is present and you emit it in the form of CO2. While during the process of pyrolysis, you sequester carbon. That means some carbon is transformed into stable form, and together with applying to soil, it will be there preserved for years. So not all of the carbon will be emitted in the form of CO2. The second perspective for comparison of incineration and pyrolysis would be the solid products which we obtain. By the incineration, we obtain ash which is rich in phosphorus, which is a critical raw material for the European Union. But it is in the form which is not soluble, not bioavailable. So we need to consider reprocessing of this ash to obtain the valuable phosphorus. On the other hand, during the pyrolysis, you are producing biochar, carbonaceous, porous material, which in case you apply it to the soil, it will have the function of soil improver. That means it will improve some of the physical properties of the soil. For instance, it will improve the water retention, nutrients retention in the soil.
And could you explain what does pyrolysis do to PFAS?
Okay, first we need to start with the fact that pyrolysis is very sensitive to the operational conditions under which you operate the pyrolysis unit. It is very sensitive to temperature, to residence time, and even to the type of the technology it is used, because different temperature gives us different properties of the resulting products of the pyrolysis, which are pyrolysis gas, pyrolysis oil, and the solid residue biochar. We were running our own research on sewage sludge pyrolysis with regards to removal of PFAS compounds, and what we found out that pyrolysis below 400 Celsius degrees was not sufficient enough to remove the PFAS significantly, but exceeding the temperatures over 400 Celsius degrees, 500, 600, 700 Celsius degrees, we obtained the removal efficiency 99% plus. That appears as a very effective way of reducing the PFAS content. It is not only the PFAS content, it is also polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, pharmaceuticals. All of these substances are removed during the high temperature or higher temperature pyrolysis. So even based on that, we are aiming and we are trying to give the message to the world that if there is a pyrolysis for sewage sludge, it should be at least 500 Celsius degrees with a reasonable residence time of 10 plus minutes in the heat, in the hot zone.
Okay, thank you. And I have my last question. So where will your research take you next, and what do you hope to address and achieve?
As I mentioned, we were focusing on different species of organic micropollutants like PAHs and the pharmaceuticals, endocrine disruptors. Then we moved towards the PFAS compounds. Now, together in our research group, we are moving forwards to flame retardants, which are also observed to be present in the sewage sludge. It is these brominated substances or these organophosphorus substances which we might often find, for example, in the carpets or in the firefighters' suits and places like that. So the research continues towards there, and we are also hoping to spread more the pyrolysis towards the sewage sludge utilization.
Thank you, Yaroslav, very much for being with us today and for participating in this interview. You really gave us some helpful information on PFAS, on this very important topic.
Again, Donata, thank you very much for the opportunity to be here, and I hope the viewers will get something out of this small interview.
Yeah, thank you everyone for watching.